guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So again, it's your boy Cobe Rising.
It's coming for you, coming for you, it's coming for you, coming for you.
Oh Lord, do not forget the gorillas. Everyone know we the realest. A bunch of go-getters. I bet you can tell I'm the illest. You don't need your fingers to fill it. You know I can straight spit, knock you out with a lady hit. Feel like I'm the one, like I'm Neil, but this is the real life, not the Matrix. I'm about to go ape shit.
Ain't no gotta roll out. I know gotta roll out, yeah. I know gotta roll out, yeah. I roll on to hustle like the bando. Oh yeah. Hustle like the bando. Yeah. Roll it. Let it burn slow.
Come on.
Gotta let it burn slow. Yeah, anything you want, gotta earn it.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
it's a lot of easier, you
Come
find
on,
your
man.
purpose. Giving
Man, hold
game.
on real quick, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all, man. Sorry for the technical difficulties on the intro, but it's not going to stop the grind. You dig what I'm saying? Welcome to the show, man. It's your boy, Cobe Rise and Rise. We back at it again with a banger. Now, before we get started, let me go ahead and tweak it a little bit so we can get right into another episode. That's right. I messed up. That was my technical difficulties. But what I was saying was we got the IG live in the building. We got my man Jabari in the house. David Goggins 2.0 in the building. You dig what I'm saying? We got my man Ernest in the building. All is well, my brothers. I hope y'all doing well. Y'all see the title, Ways That the Culture is Keeping Us Unhealthy. You dig what I'm saying, man? We got the risers in the house tonight. Shout out to my man Jabari again, man. Welcome, y'all. Shout out to my man Ernest, man. We live on Facebook. We live on YouTube. Hey, man, listen, if you guys are watching this right now, hit a like, comment below, share this out to at least one or two people. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share it out to your public page. And if you're on YouTube, just share it out to any social media that you're available to. If you're on the IG, make sure you share this out. Hit a like. What's going on, Jess? I got my folks in here with me, y'all. This is going to be an important topic. This is an important topic, man. But before we get started, yes, I know you guys see the hand right now. So it's I jammed my thumb, it was balling, and it's been jammed for about a week now. So I'm healing it up, got a splint going. But we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. Shout out to my man Ernest in the building, man. What's going on? I know you're looking forward to it. What up, Jers? I know you're looking forward to it, man. Yo, we got a heck of a topic right now. We got a heck of a topic to talk about. Listen, it's the culture of eating. All right. And I'm going to cater this to specifically my fat loss folks and my muscle building folks. All right. So just a quick monologue real quick before we get started. You dig what I'm saying? Your boy's doing really well. This week has been an amazing week. It's been a busy week. Your boy's about to get the CMOS out to you guys. I should have it going on sometime next week, really soon. And we'll make sure that everybody gets their jars. I already have a long list of folks that I got to get to, so I'll make sure I get you guys taken care of. And for those that are interested in getting your CMOS, shout out to Queen City Organics for the CMOS as we're in business together. And if you are interested, hit the IG below at King Alajuwan 21. You dig what I'm saying? Also hit me on Facebook at Rise and Rise Academy if you're interested in getting your CMOS gel. If you guys have been paying attention this week, I've already been posting some of the clips of me cleaning the CMOS, getting it ready. And yeah, this is going to be a banger, man. We may have a special flavor. I'm not going to really tell it out. I'm going to just say we may not see something different. Who knows? You dig? But anyway, make sure you guys hit the like. Make sure you guys share this out. There's going to be important information. And let's get it going. So we have a culture currently in 2024. It's been like this for a while, but we have a culture where being big is what is in style. And what this tells us is in order to be happy, then we need to be big or so-called thick. And so these trendy words give us some programming and without any real context. And it really shows us what we need to be like. So for example, if you are a certain overage of pounds, then that's a trendy thing, not necessarily knowing that it's an unhealthy benefit. It's an unhealthy thing if you're over a certain BMI scale. So we should not celebrate anybody who's, in the obese category, overweight category. We should, try to get everybody in a healthy category because this is going to push a healthy culture. This is going to help us in longevity, so that way we can eliminate any further issues down the line as we get older, just because we're in a fad at the moment, right? And you can still look good and be a part of a fad, or even better, create your own fad. But what this trendy thing does is it gives us programming. So it makes it okay for us to overeat. It makes it okay for us to be cool, to be obese. But on the flip side, it's a shame to be small or skinny. So, and in so much that people have to make things up in our own culture using Ebonics, because which it appeals to the masses and makes it more impactful in a way to where more people can get onto the trend, to balance out being okay with being self-conscious in reality. And so this is a deep, deep thing here, because now we're getting into the psyche of what it is in our culture, because the culture is now pushing this psyche into us, the programming into us, to be okay with being obese, understanding the stats that come with that, and really being self-conscious, but turning it around to make it okay to be not what you would like to be. All right. And so what I want to show you guys is something that is important, because this is an article from Forbes where it talks about specifically just a different culture war when it comes to food policies, and to stay woke with it. So let me just share my screen real quick so you guys can see and understand what I'm actually referring to here. All right, here we go. So if you guys can see that, let me know. So when we talk about the country's culture wars, we usually assume it's about politics, but Americans disagree about that more than that. So they defend to the death what they eat and their right to eat what they want. That's why attempts to change American eating habits to healthier food keeps hitting stubborn road blocks, right? And so this is where it goes into hand in hand. So Americans aren't buying into this. Their eating behaviors are not the same and are not on the same wavelength as those who wish to help. So half Americans claim to eat healthy. The CDC cites in actuality that more than 36% of Americans are consuming fast food regularly. And the research from Northeastern University's Network Science Institute indicates that 73% of United States food supply is ultra processed. Now, as you may know, we do have the Super Bowl coming up. So if you guys are, going for the Kansas City Chiefs, or you're going for the San Francisco 49ers, and whatever may have you. We have to understand that this is a part of the American culture, right? Super Bowl, and the food that comes with that. So now let's get into the schematics of the actual food when it comes to the Super Bowl. All right. So also consider that people eat to celebrate on good times. So top 10 foods consumed during the Super Bowl, which will be this Sunday. I guarantee it. Watch everybody's plate and you'll probably look at it. Potato chips and dip, chicken wings, pizza, nachos, cheese and crackers, cookies, burgers, sliders, meatballs, tacos, and ice cream. And then from the winter holidays to summer, you got barbecues, Oktoberfest, indulgence of foods and drinks with sugar, obviously, and just different ingredients that the cultural rituals, right? So that's the fats, the dairies, and the sugars, so that is what tends to happen. And then when it talks about the post-pandemic emergence coming from 3 years of isolation and loneliness, people are hungrier than ever. And these customs and these foods are a part of the experience. And that's according to the Georgetown study. And again, this article has been published on Forbes. Now, I read that to say this. All right. We have a culture for eating everything. And there are times where we eat when we're happy. We eat when we're depressed. We eat when we're having fun, celebrations. We go to birthday parties. You have birthday cake, ice cream, potato chips, what have you. You eat when you're hungry. You eat when you're not hungry. And this is getting into the depression thing or the boredom. All right. Because a lot of us are bored. So what happens when you're bored? You eat, and you typically eat some snack foods or, something sugary around those nature because it fulfills something that's temporary. All right. Even eating when you're nervous, you want to eat something, you want to bite something. And this is getting into the fidgety aspect of it. People snack out of habit, and these actions create unhealthy habits and unhealthy relationships when it comes to the food. Now, taste, people do it for the taste too. And this occurs when you're not feeling physically hungry, that hangry mood, but you have a desire to eat. And these desires, they're likely to really just be stimulus, like we said before. It's not really doing anything for you, just eating just to eat. And unfortunately, when you're eating just to eat, that then leads into an unhealthy relationship with the food. All right. And Ernest says that's facts. That's right. It's big facts. And so this is what the culture pushes. I remember a story where, and I think I've told this before previously, but around Thanksgiving time, obviously people feast, they put their foods on their plate, they indulge and everything like that. So I remember I was talking to a lady who used to work out at the gym, and she was overweight, but she got into the gym and got really fit, and so much fit that she was actually in the BMI scale for her being fit. And she felt proud of that, and she was probably around in the 40s, right? So it was important to her because she at least accomplished a goal that she didn't know she could accomplish because she had been overweight for so long, and she'd actually gained muscle and close to it, enough of a six pack. So I congratulated her. And during Thanksgiving, she went home and she was thinking that, her family would be proud and, just congratulating her, high fives and everything, right? It actually took a 180 because they actually looked at her and said, man, you look like you lost a lot of weight. Are you sick? Are you sick? You need to eat. You need to eat something. Sorry about that. I had a technical difficulty here. But like I was saying, so what ended up happening was it took a 180 turn. They looked at her and said that she looked sick because she had lost so much weight, but in actuality, she was fit for her weight and her height adjusted. So she wasn't overweight anymore. And the funny thing is, the people that told her this were actually overweight and or obese to the point where they're used to that culture, and that is presumed as normal when you're around it so much. And so she had been to the gym for quite some time, but being around just the fit mindsets and and it gravitated onto what she was, and how she became. And so what that did to her is actually made her sad inside, because she came to me and was like, I couldn't believe that they would tell me something so, diminishing. And I said, in actuality, no, it's not that you're sick. It's because they're sick. They're actually overweight. They're sick mentally as well. To tell you something like that. And that is the culture that we push, is to eat, 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 but not necessarily the other end of it. You want to necessarily eat for your good. All right. And so these are different cravings that people get when it comes to the psychological relationship with food. And people don't have a healthy relationship with food is the main thing. All right. So why do people eat just for taste? Right. And so there's a scientific term for this. And what you're experiencing, not really gluttony, but it's called hedonic hunger, hedonic hunger. And that's why people eat so much, even after they're full, they still want to eat. And so it's the desire to eat for pleasure as opposed to consuming calories that the body actually needs for energy. They overeat. And so the body doesn't burn the calories. Why? Because they're not exercising. So they're not using the calories for what you're supposed to do. So if you eat, you're supposed to use it for something. All right. And that's the point of it. So what is this, the hedonic eating, right? So what that is referring to is the desire to consume the food for the purpose of just the pleasure in the absence of actual hunger. So you're eating just to feel something that's inside that's very empty. It's not really necessarily a physical hole, but more so a mental hole, a soulless hole, so that is what you are experiencing. All right. And so it's something that's important that we should really think about. Shout out to Ernest. He says, we are what God says we eat. That's exactly right. We are what we eat. That's 100% true. And so another question. So why do people crave food when they're not hungry? Well, the brain, you can think about it like this. The brain regions responsible for like memory, pleasure, and reward play a role in food cravings. So there's an imbalance in hormones like leptin, serotonin that could also lead to food cravings. Cravings also involve like appetite centers of the brain. So these are mental things here, and that's what I was referring to. And so people that also eat for taste, if it doesn't taste good, they don't want it. So people will watch like TV commercials, for example. They come on and they show you this. You ever seen these commercials? Like you ever seen the old school like McDonald's commercials or like the Red Lobster commercials? Then they show this creamy macaroni and cheese fondue, and then they show you this dessert, and it's this chocolate brownie, right? It's just this nice chocolate brown, and it's even got the extra chocolate syrup that's poured on top of it. And what they do is they pour it on the real slow. They pour it on there really slow, and they top it off with this nice whipped cream, this white cream, and they make it look appetizing, right? And so what this does is this communicates to the brain that even though you might have already had a meal, you're now hungry again based on the thought process, because this is how they program you to think that you're hungry, because they get to your senses. Now your mouth starts to water, and this is what's making you want to eat more, because food is appetizing if you allow that to be, and the appetizing possibility makes you want to go buy that dessert or food, and makes you want to eat more than what it is that you actually should. It's almost like going to the grocery store. You're not supposed to go to the grocery store when you're hungry. You just go pick up stuff just because you're hungry. And they use the taste senses against your own will if you're not strong enough to endure. And I'm gonna open this up, just to give some questions. Look, my mouth is watering right now. That was a good description, wasn't it? Hey, and the reason why is because that was a real commercial. I remember, matter of fact, it was Applebee's. Applebee's used to have this dessert, and y'all that ate at Applebee's, y'all really can attest to this. Do y'all remember that blondie, the brownie blondie that you used to get from Applebee's? Listen, they used to bring that hot plate out, and that golden brown square had those nice crusts, the little crunchy on the outside, but nice and rich and soft, and just in the middle was just rich. It was that rich chocolate taste. And then you put that ice cream on top of it, and the ice cream is really cold and the brownie is really hot. So then that ice cream, as soon as you put it on there, it starts to kind of steam a little bit, make it look actually really good. because the hot and cold temperatures clash together, and that ice cream starts to melt just a little bit to where it starts to get a nice white run across the sides of the brownie, man. And then they put that cherry on top of it with some chocolate, syrup on it. Man, it gets you every single time. That was a real commercial. And so I saw that commercial as a young kid, and I said, man, I want that brownie, even though I had just had a meal. And so back in the day, it was a privilege to go to McDonald's because we had food at the house. It was always being told that, no, you eat what we cook. And we always said, well, let's go out to eat. And going out to eat back then was a privilege, to the point now that is what you see most of. People eat out most of the time. This is crazy. What's going on, Marcus? And this is exactly what happens to our psyche. And what happens is, this is the culture that's pushed. The culture that pushes is we overeat. Shout out to Ernest. He says, that's when most Walmart supercenters tend to have fast food restaurants like McDonald's. Man, come on. They are playing into your psyche. I'm going to take it a step further. When you go to Walmart, in the checkout line, what do they have when you go to the checkout line? What else do you see when you go to the checkout line? If y'all are watching, put in the comments what you think it is, if you guys know what I'm talking about. When you guys go to Walmart, and if you are shopping, if you're shopping at Walmart, you go to the cashier. If y'all paying attention, put that into the comments. You go to the cashier line. You're waiting in line, right? And y'all know these Walmart lines, they're super long. I mean, they're crazy long. You go to Walmart, you stand in line, and it's a line almost like back to where the produce is, because it's so many people that go get it. And they play on your psyche too, because they put things in front of you purposely for a reason, because you're waiting in line. Shout out to Jay. You already know. They put those candy bars, they put the candy, like the gummy bears, the potato chips, the sodas, that last minute call that you are waiting in line. Because what happens when you look at it? Man, when you're waiting in line, you are doing nothing anyway but waiting. So guess what? When you look up, they put it in your face. First thing you see is candy this, candy that, chips this, chips that, cookies this, cookies that, sugary drinks. It's not really as healthy drinks. They put them sugary drinks in there. The Mountain Dews, the Dr. Peppers. If you're in North Carolina, we have cheer wine. So you put the cheer wine in there. Got the Coke, the Pepsis, all those stimulating things, the vending machines right there. They put it right there in the front. So when you're waiting, and they know you're going to get hungry, because those types of foods indicate and they get into your psyche to make you think you're more hungry than you are. So it's like, you know what? Let me pick up a candy bar real quick. They are just adding those calories onto you because they're playing into your psyche. Why? Because we're not strong enough to endure. All right? We're not strong enough to endure. That's right. Candies and soft drinks, chips and sodas. Y'all own it. Y'all own it. Every time people go grocery shopping, they shop at Walmart, they go to McDonald's. Exactly. And McDonald's, Walmart, they have like McDonald's inside there. They have your fast food joints in there. And that is about the money. That's a whole nother topic. Are there healthy snacks that you recommend to replace sugar-based snacks? You know what's crazy? I actually do. So there are healthy snacks, and so we're a part of this 75 soft challenge, right? And shout out to my 75 challengers out there, because we get into the bag, we get into the money, and I'm working to add more value to what we're doing, so we can now elevate to the next level. And one of those questions was exactly that. What are some healthier snacks to be in place? Well, a lot of us do these chips and these sodas and all that. So what we can now do is I do more of the whole food recommendation. The whole food recommendations, whole food snacks. That's going to be your walnuts. That's going to be your Brazil nuts. That's going to be your popcorn. That's going to be your quinoa chips, your black bean chips, right? Just the other healthier options that you can eat, so that way you're not craving anything, right? You have your nori chips. That's your salty taste if you want something salty, and that's seaweed for those that don't know that, nori, and it's actually good for you too. So these things benefit you. I'm gonna give you an example. 3 Brazil nuts per day will lower your cholesterol in 8 weeks. Not only that, it's rich in zinc, magnesium, and has 2.4 grams of protein per 3 Brazil nuts. Is crazy. And it does something to the brain because I'm gonna talk from a plant-based perspective. For those who are plant-based, they always talk about how eating no meat can result in depression. Well, it's because of what meat has in it. But let's be clear about that. You have to eat a lot of it. Well, not a lot, but you have to eat a certain amount to get the daily dosage, where you get the daily dosage from eating 3 Brazil nuts. That's crazy. So it's not the fact that it's eating for your benefit. Eating for your benefit. These things help turn the cravings around. Like something sweet that you can eat is, something like cashew ice cream. So instead of using dairy milk, you use cashew ice cream. Or even that, if you're looking for like oatmeal, for example, you can use agave syrup or date syrup as a sweetener. Same thing, you can use date sugar. So they have date sugar little crystals, just like regular sugar, but they use dates for that. They use the pitted dates. So that's your sweet cravings. So you have your salty cravings, you have your sweet cravings, and that will cover those healthy snacks for you. And that's going to lead me to my next thing. So now we're done with the monologue. Now we're going to get to the solution, right? And so what you actually want to aim for is to know when you're full, so you're not over consuming. And these are just some topics that you can actually take down, and you can use this for your advantage whenever you're working out or if you're having issues with eating. Because again, the culture, we cannot stop Walmart from putting this stuff in our face. We can't stop McDonald's from being McDonald's. We can't stop fast food from being fast food physically. All right. We can't do it. We can't stop them. So what we can do is, they're playing on your psyche because they think that you're not strong enough to endure. They put all these things in your face like, ooh, you want to eat this? Oh man, that nice cheese crab fondue looks so good. Oh man, you gotta try this. Though nobody else has this, you gotta try it out. They put it into your face thinking that they can get something over on you and then make you spend money. But what you can do now to combat that is tell them no. Is there anything we can do for you? No, it's not. We are in control of what we eat. You are in control of what you eat. You're not a slave to food. And they think that you're a slave to food. Why? Because they always put these foods in front of your face, knowing that you're going to bite down, you're going to take the bait, and you're going to sucker in and get that ice cream that you're going to eat, because them Klondike bar commercials always come into play because they know you're weak-minded. They picking on us. They're picking on us. Shout out to Jay. Never heard of that. Where do you buy date sugar? So you can buy date sugar from like Whole Foods. You can buy from natural health food stores, Earth Fare. You can also buy them from, I want to say Trader Joe's has them. I'm not 100% sure about that. You can probably just check them if you're in the Charlotte region. I'm not sure if you're in the Houston region. I would say Safeway. I would say probably check with Jamise on that, but I think you guys have a Whole Foods. But try Whole Foods first. Is where I get mine from. It's good. It's delicious. I use date syrup as well. So if I'm gonna make a plant-based waffle, I'm gonna use the date syrup. We have a health food store here in Charlotte. It's called Fresh. So you go into Fresh, and they have these different vegetables, and everything's organic in there, and it's actually somewhere that I really, really like. They have a bunch of plant-based restaurants here. So, I tend to go to those type of places. But anyway, that's where you get date sugar from. I mean, ALT, I would assume that's a typo. You probably mean ATL. ATL, Atlanta, they actually have quite a bit of plant-based grocery stores. And I'm sure somebody's watching. They're probably from Atlanta too. So if you guys are watching, if you're in Atlanta or from Atlanta, comment below any health food stores that Jay can go to, so they can indulge in the date sugar. But back to the program, like I was saying, you want to control your senses, control your taste buds. This is why fasting is so important. fasting is important. Shout out to Hash. Fasting is important because fasting creates discipline in your mind. Even though you're hungry, you're disciplined because there are goals that you're trying to accomplish. And that gets to our next thing. Know how to eat for your goals. For example, if you want to look strong or if you want to be strong, eat for that goal that you're trying to accomplish. What are your outcomes? And define your outcomes and eat for your outcomes, and don't eat necessarily for the pleasure. And that is the key, because that's where choice and willpower comes into play. Even though pleasurably, that blonde really sounds good, but if your goal is to cut, to get that six pack, or for my ladies out there, if they want to get in that sexy bikini line, eating that blonde is not going to be the best for you if you're on that journey. If you don't have one, if you're trying to get there, it's going to set you back. So I think I just dropped my camera. Just give me 1 second, you guys. I'm going to be right back. All right, we are back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. All right, but anyway, so like I was saying, you want to eat for your goals. So if you're trying to gain muscle or fat loss, so this is what we're talking about. You can eat foods for fat loss. Know what you want to eat, because again, these are certain goals that you're trying to accomplish, and that right there is going to help you get to your goals. Shout out to Ernest. He says, try doing intermittent fasting. I'm glad you said intermittent fasting, because if you're into intermittent fasting, but you're not necessarily sure about it, but you're here right now looking for any question about it, let me give you a take. You can do intermittent fasting. There's a actual intermittent fasting option. It's called 16-8 intermittent fasting. And so I'm just share that with you guys just so you can see it live right now, what intermittent fasting is. I'm going to just show you guys what this 16-8 is with intermittent fasting. Just a quick Google search. I'm going to just do it real quick for you guys. All right. So let's pull it up over here. Sorry about that. Let me close this out. Trying to do two things at one time. All right. The 16-8 intermittent fasting plan is a form of time restricted fasting. It involves consuming food in an 8-hour window and avoiding food fasting for the remaining 16 hours each and every day. Some people believe that this method works by supporting the body's circadian rhythm, which is the internal clock. And we've spoken about that. And so for the ones who don't know the rules, here are the rules. And just like I said, you guys can look this up too. The 16-8 intermittent fasting involves limiting your intake of foods and calorie containing beverages to set a window of 8 hours per day, which is you're going to be drinking water if you're going to consume something, right? Because it's not going to do anything. You abstain from food for the remaining 16 hours. Though you're still allowed to drink water, just like I said before, and no calorie beverages like plain coffee or tea. All right. So you can have coffee or tea, but no food. All right. So long story short, I'll break this down in a simple understanding. You eat for 8 hours, you fast for 8 hours, and you sleep the rest of the 8 hours. So you can kind of cater it up to that, and you can break it down how you want to. I have someone who's doing intermittent fasting right now. They're doing a 16-8 every day. They've already lost 15 pounds just doing intermittent fasting and drinking the water. So it's a super important thing. And shout out to Ramadan. They fast all day during this time. And so it creates a level of discipline. It creates the level of discipline that our bodies need. And so this is where accountability comes into play. All right. And shout out to the ones that's in the group. So if you're in the group, you have that accountability. Everybody has their goal plan. Everybody has their numbers. So we'll be doing consultations really soon in the group. And if you guys missed the group, but if you're still looking for consultations, you can hit me on IG at King Alajuwan 21 for consultations. We can look for training. Shout out to Rich. What's going on, Rich, my IG family? And you guys can get the accountability, walk you through the process. I do have the app. It's the Rise and Rise Academy app. And like I said, if you're looking for the process, right? If you're looking to know how to eat when you're full, if you're looking to know how to eat for your goals, if you're wanting to know how to eat for your outcomes and eat for a specific fat loss, weight loss, muscle gain goal, or know what to eat to look good, know what to do to look good, hit me on my IG. We can tap in and we'll give you consult to get you going. Again, one of the products we have actually helps with that, and that is the Queen City Organics Rise Berry Rafa Sea Moss. It's a fitness sea moss. It has everything in it. It has the herbs in it, and the sea moss in it alone, just for example, has iodine in it, which your body does not make, but the body benefits from it because it's a natural mineral that we can digest, but it gives us great benefit, especially to the thyroid, because thyroid is important for those who want to lose weight. So for those who doesn't necessarily have a hypothyroid, it's a little bit harder for them to lose weight. So this is why we say the products that we use, it caters to what you want to look for, and it does it on a biochemical level that necessarily you may not necessarily understand, but I've done the research enough to where I've done it on myself. I've lost weight, but I've stayed cut for my muscle mass. I've also gained weight and all plant-based. So I'm one of the only ones doing it like that, all plant-based, all natural. Haven't taken any performance enhancers. I use 100% of the foods that I eat. And that's how I'm able to structure how my body looks through the workouts, through the energy, through the foods, and how I progress really in work. And that's something that you guys and ladies, yes, and ladies, y'all can have as well. All right. So that concludes the topic. I know we ran over time a little bit, but I appreciate everybody for joining in on the show. Again, hit the like, comment. Make sure you guys share this out to at least 2 to 3 people and get the information out there, because we're here to grow and we're here to learn. I'm here learning just with you. And so we can make this thing an actual community. And that's what we're here to do at Rise and Rise, is to create a community so we can all be healthy. All right. We actually did have one more question. And okay. Well, the question says, what should I eat if I'm not hungry, but I just want to eat? So there's several things you could do. You can have raw vegetables. And what that does is that'll hit your vitals differently. So that way your body can be satisfied. I'm gonna give you a raw meal that I eat. What's going on, Key? I'm gonna give you a raw meal that I eat that's really good. I use avocado. I cut up a red onion, and I use cherry tomato. I slice the cherry tomatoes in half, put them in a bowl, take the seed out of the avocado, mash it with a fork so that way the avocado gets nice and mushy, but with the red onion, and then stir it up with the cherry tomato, and you can actually have that as a meal, or you can have what I'm eating now. This is a bowl of berries. Antioxidants, is sweet, and it's going to hydrate you. It's really good. It's going to hit your vitals differently. So you can eat things like that. If you're on a protein gain like I am, get you a peanut butter sandwich. And I recommend using the all natural peanut butter. So you can use the Jif. I like the creamy, but if you're into crunchy, you can do the crunchy. Get you a David's bread, because it's a natural bread. It's not enriched wheat. So try to stay away from the enriched, and stick to more of a sprout type of grain for your breads. You can use that, and that will actually fill you up. My God. You can even have something like a plant-based yogurt. You can have oatmeal, and of course, I already said fruit. You can do smoothies. You can do protein shakes. These are things that are light that you can eat. So if you're not necessarily hungry, but you still want to eat something, let it be for your benefit. Eat those 3 Brazil nuts. That's something that you can do. I like grapes. So just a wide variety of fruits and vegetables that you can eat. Try your vegetables raw. Try that. Raw broccoli, raw cauliflower, raw carrots, these things. And you can even eat you can even eat a whole potato, but that's if you're hungry though. Like if you're trying to gain weight, eat you a whole potato. Just take some oil, rub the potato with the oil, and then put some, sea salt or Himalayan salt on it, around it. Throw it in the oven for about 25 minutes. Shout out to Coach T. You can eat a whole potato before bed, and is really good. So, like I said, there's are things that you can do whole food wise that you can eat, and it actually hits your vitals differently versus going and getting that bag of potato chips. All right. So, anyway, that concludes the section. I'm gonna get to these berries, and I'm also gonna have me some food here in a little bit. Shout out to the risers, man. Shout out to the 75 Soft group, man. We appreciate y'all for joining in. Shout out to Queen City Organics. If you're looking for the sea moss, make sure you hit me in the bottom. IG is King Alajuwan 21. Facebook is Rise and Rise Academy. Shout out to True Eye Clarity. Is how you want to live your life. You want to live your life true, high, and with clarity. Again, it's your boy Cobe. Rise and Rise. We up out this thing. When we're faced with an obstacle, what we do, we rise and rise. Peace.
I'm like a souffle.